So today, the Trump administration asked the Supreme Court for permission to immediately fire the only black woman serving on the Federal Reserve's Board of Governors, a woman who's appointed by Joe Biden. Now, this is part of Donald Trump's unprecedented attempt to just get control of the Federal Reserve Board so he can personally dictate the country's monetary policy in violation of the entire structure of the independent central bank that we've had for over 100 years. Trump claims that he legally can fire that governor, Lisa Cook, for cause. The cause, he says, is alleged mortgage fraud. The White House says that in 2021, Cook took out a mortgage on a condo in Atlanta. This is before she even joined the Fed. And she told the lender it would be her primary residence when she already had a primary home in Michigan. Now, if those allegations weirdly sound familiar, well, it's because Cook isn't alone.
She is just the latest perceived political enemy of the president to face mortgage fraud accusations. NBC News reported this same month that Bondi had appointed former interim U.S. Attorney Ed Martin to serve as a special attorney to investigate similar allegations against California Senator Adam Schiff and New York State Attorney General Letitia James.
Okay, so allegations against Lisa Cook and California Senator Adam Schiff, New York Attorney General Letitia James. It does seem more than a little odd that three people Trump has it out for just all happen to commit the same infraction, doesn't it? Like, where are all these allegations of specifically mortgage fraud coming from? Well, from one man, it turns out. This guy, his name is Bill Pulte. He is the heir to a construction empire, and he's a big Trump donor who regularly blasts out pro-MAGA messages to his 3 million Twitter followers. And Pulte was handpicked by Trump to run the Federal Housing Finance Authority. It's a big job. Job is basically to oversee U.S. mortgage markets, which is an important job, to jumpstart home sales, improve housing affordability. But he also has access to mortgage documents from millions of American homeowners. And boy, it sure seems that he has been searching them for the dirt the administration could use against its adversaries. In fact, he is the one that referred Schiff and James to the DOJ for prosecution, and in the case of Lisa Cook, ginned up a pretext for her illegal firing.
I've never seen people support crime like this. This is insane. Alleged crime, let's call it that. What she did was wrong. The fact that she hasn't come out and said, hey, these aren't my documents, or some rational explanation for this alleged crime, why is she not doing it? Doesn't make any sense.
I think what they're saying, it seems unusual. You're not, I don't think your primary role at what you're doing now is to seek out and find mortgage fraud.
That's completely false. That's completely false, Joe. That's completely false. My job, and I swore an oath before the Senate and otherwise, that I would root out mortgage fraud and that I would ensure that there's safety and soundness in the mortgage market.
I'm going to root out mortgage fraud, and I'm going to start with, the Fed governor the president wants to fire. This is so far beyond the pale, the political head of an agency digging through government files for dirt on political opponents, that even the conservative editorial board of the Wall Street Journal blasted Pulte's work as government weaponization, saying it was an ominous turn in political lawfare. This is nasty business. But Pulte's accusations against Cook are not just government overreach. They are also bunk. Last week, NBC News reviewed financial documents that contradict Pulte and the Trump administration's claims. They show that Cook has consistently declared that Atlanta that condo is a second home. The paperwork Pulte cited for his claims was likely an oversight that brought Cook no special benefits. Remember, you've bought a home before, maybe, and there's a ton of paperwork. So now senior law enforcement officials tell NBC News the mortgage fraud investigation into Letitia James is also at a standstill. Wait for it, because federal agents and prosecutors don't believe they have enough evidence to get a conviction if the case were to go to trial. Like Cook, James said the allegations stem from one document that erroneously lists a second home as her primary residence. And as with Cook, the rest of the loan documents accurately say the home would not be James' primary residence. Okay? So both these accusations that this is a crime have turned out to be wildly overblown. So overblown that even Republicans are souring on him and his allegations. In fact, according to Politico, at a private dinner in Washington last week, Pulte got into a shouting match with Secretary of the Treasury Scott Bessent over rumors that Pulte was trashing Bessent to the president. Bessent reportedly told Pulte, and I quote him here, "I'm going to punch you in your effing face." Neither Pulte or Bessent commented on the incident when Politico asked them about it. Well, guess what? Just yesterday, Bloomberg reported that mortgage documents show, wait for it, Scott Bessent once made contradictory declarations on his mortgage declaration, just like Lisa Cook did. But experts tell Bloomberg that, as with Cook's mortgage, there's no sign of wrongdoing on Bessent's part. Rather, his case demonstrates that an incongruity in home loan filings isn't necessarily proof of fraud. Yes, who'd have thunk? Lawyers for Bessent echoed the sentiment, saying there was absolutely nothing improper about Mr. Bessent's loan applications with which he was minimally involved. You see, a real kind of fraud in this realm would be if you owned homes in two states and you falsely claimed both as your primary residence, and then, crucially, you took the tax break for residence on both homes. And that does happen. In fact, Bill Pulte's parents did it. According to records reviewed by Reuters, Mark and Julie Pulte, the father and stepmother of Bill Pulte, since 2020 have claimed so-called homestead exemptions for residences in wealthy neighborhoods in both Michigan and Florida. In fact, when Reuters brought the issue to a Michigan tax official's attention, he told them revised tax bills will be issued to the Pultes, including all applicable penalty and interest. Boy, thanks, son. So, Trump now wants the Supreme Court to fire the Fed board's only black woman for mortgage fraud she does not appear to have committed, but that was alleged by a Trump appointee with access to everyone's mortgage records. A Trump appointee using his time in public service to hunt for evidence of misdeeds by Trump's political enemies, as his own family benefited from the same kind of dubious housing claims. This entire affair is exactly as preposterously trumped up as you thought it was.